Now, in continuation of part B, in part C, we are going to discuss. And we are going to interact. What is resistance once again, and on what factor does it depend? What are the factors which affects the resistance of a conductor? And when resistance is affected, then how current is changed passing through the conductor. And along with this, we shall be studying resistivity, new term. Resistivity and resistance. These two are almost appear similar, but these two are different terms. And in this, we shall be studying about alloys and conductors also, and insulators also after studying resistivity. Now, let's start our new topic, our new session. Let's start. To start our session now, what are the factors which affect the resistance of a conductor? And when resistance of a conductor is affected, how electric current passing through a conductor by keeping the potential difference same is changed. Right now, there is a one conductor of length L. This is a conductor of length L, and it has some resistance. It has some resistance, and here now I am taking another conductor. Another conductor. It is of the same conductor, and the another conductor means of the same material, but the length is different. Right. So suppose these two are of copper only. These are of copper only. Now, what do you think? In which the resistance will be higher? Now, will it affect the first of all? Will it affect the resistance or not? Resistance of the conductor will be same or different in these two cases. Now, who will give answer? So now Kanishk is saying it will change because here length is here higher. Its length is twice of this, right? So how this resistance is affected? The resistance, we know that resistance, it is a opposition to the flow of electrons, free electrons, when potential difference is applied across the ends of the conductor, right? So you are right. Now, when the electrons, they have to drift from one end to another, one end to another, from same way from one end to another in this conductor. So in which case they have to travel longer distance. Obviously, now Vishakha is saying in 2L because here length is greater, higher length is there. So they have to travel longer distance. Longer distance means more collisions, more collisions. So more opposition is there. So therefore more opposition is there means resistance is higher. So resistance is, of a conductor is increased with increase in length of the conductor. So when length is increased, resistance is also increased, right? Now, so this is the effect of length of conductor, which okay, length of conductor is very important, which changes the resistance of the conductor. And this way, then this I is equal to, we know I is equal to V upon R. So this way, when resistance is changed, potential difference is same, then current is changed. So this happens in rheostat. When we use the slider, so that is used to change the length of the wire. When length of the wire is changed, resistance is changed, potential difference remains same, then current is also changed. Potential difference of the battery which is being used to supply electrical energy. Now, what is the second factor? Here, this I have given this formula. We shall discuss later on, and it's very important. When we pull the same conductor, here we are taking two wires of different lengths. But when this wire, suppose L wire, this first wire is pulled twice of its original length, then what may happen? So this is we are going to discuss later on. It's very important for NTSC exam. Now, second. Now I'm taking one more. Now a conductor is there. Its area. Now we are talking about the area of cross section. So its area of cross section is A. Now and one more conductor is there. Its area is, you can see, is twice of, almost twice. It's greater than this area of cross section. Area of cross section is represented by which formula in mathematics? Yes, Shreya, pi r square. Pi r square. So here area is more, here area is less. So when a potential difference is applied across the ends of this conductor and this conductor, by experiments it has been seen. See here, the resistance offered by which will be higher. Yes, Raghav is saying A, because in A atoms and other electrons, they are very close to each other, closely packed. So when free electrons have to move, have to drift from one end to another, so what happens? More collision is there. More collision is there. So resistance is higher. Resistance is higher. And here, when its thickness is increased, area of cross section is increased, the space is increased between the atoms, right? Between the atoms and ions. So free electrons, when they have to move from one end to another end, they get more space to move. Means less collisions are there. More space, less collision. So resistance is right. What happens? Resistance is decrease. Area of cross section is increase. Resistance is decrease. So this means inverse proportion is there. Inverse relation is there. So this is a relationship. Now effect of area of cross section of conductor, right? By experiments it has been seen, and I shall try to show you one this activity in next session, right? Now third factor. Now if we take two conductors, okay, now two conductors are different material. One is of copper, another is of aluminum. Both are of same area of cross section and both are of same length. So what do you think? Resistance will change or not? Yes, Athar? So Athar is saying, sir, here we can see length is same, area of cross section is same, means, but what do we see here? It is of copper, it is of aluminum. So nature of material is different. So when nature of material is different, obviously, it will also affect the resistance. Yes, Athar is right. So effect of nature of material of conductor is also very, very important. So electrical resistance of conductor depends on the nature of material of which it is made. So therefore, here in electrical transmission wires, we use copper, because copper it's allow electric current to pass through it very easily. It's a very good conductor of electricity, right? So nature of material is also very, very important. I'm sure now you must have understood, and you will be able to solve numericals, and right. And this is very, very interesting topic, and you will be doing this in class 12th again. Right now, next we are going next property. So next property, and it is the last property, that is the temperature. Temperature also affects the resistance of a conductor. You know, when wire is heated, then what happens? Then atoms, they get which energy? They get heat energy. When they get heat energy, their kinetic energy increase, and they start vibrating. They start vibrating about their mean, about their position. So during this, electrons which are moving from one end to another end, so they have more collisions. Number of collisions is increased. So when collisions are more, then what happens? More collision means more opposition. So means then resistance is also increase. Resistance is also increase. So by decreasing the temperature, resistance is decreased. By increasing the temperature, resistance is increased. So therefore, you are asked when you do Ohm's law experiment, verification Ohm's law, that after every reading, the current should be switched off. Battery eliminator should be switched off. Otherwise, continuous electric current when passing through the nichrome wire, it becomes hot. It becomes hot, and it also affects our readings, right? So resistance of semiconductor decreases with rise in temperature. These are some observation. Resistance of metals is directly proportional to temperature, and this you have to just remember, right? Resistance of alloys changes very little with rise in temperature, right? Any problem? No? Now let's move to the next topic. Just keep on enjoying, right? Now, new term here we are going to discuss, that is resistivity. Resistivity and resistance, these two are different terms. These two are different terms, right? By experiments, this we have we have this just discussed, and experiment I shall show you. Okay, so resistance is directly proportional to length. This we have done. The resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. This we have done. Right now, when we join these two, when we talk about the resistance, same wire is there, its length is changed, its area is changed. Then what do we get here when on joining these two? Resistance is directly proportional to L here, and inversely proportional to A. But if you are given the value of length and area of cross section of wire of a given wire, suppose it is of copper or aluminum or iron, now how will you get the resistance? But the sign of proportionality is there. This is to be removed. So here R it is equal to this. This is the sign. This is the constant of proportionality here, and this for a given conductor is known as resistivity or specific resistance. It is not resistance, it is specific resistance, okay, of the material of the conductor. Material of the conductor, here it is important, it is material of the conductor, right? Material of the conductor. So it is a specific resistance of the material of the conductor. Conductor can be copper, conductor can be aluminum, conductor can be any other tungsten also. But of all are conductors. But material, nature of material is different. Copper is nature of material. Copper, aluminum is also conductor, but its material is different. Therefore, here we talk about the specific resistance of material of the conductor, and here it is rho. Right, it is pronounced as we pronounce it like rho, and symbol is this, right? So here we get, so here we get R is equal to rho L upon A. L is length of the conductor, A is the area of cross section. Any problem? Now, how to get this definition, or how to get the unit of this resistivity or specific resistance? Now, these two are equal by experiments. Again, it has been seen. If we take a conductor of length 1 meter and its area of cross section is also 1 meter square. Area is therefore meter square is there. Its length therefore meter is there. You can see here meter, and here it is meter square. So when we write here 1 meter and here we write 1 meter square, so what do we get? What do we get? And this side is ohm. So note down in notebook and you will see, you will enjoy. So what do we get here? We get, I'm writing here, here it is 1 meter and upon meter square, right? So meter square, meter and 1 meter cancel, 1 upon 1 meter is left here, so this meter goes to this side and it is ohm, its unit is ohm. So SI unit of resistivity it becomes ohm meter. Ohm meter, you can calculate in your notebook, okay, and you must calculate in your notebook to learn, to understand in a better way, not to learn, to understand in a better way, right? So here SI unit of resistivity we get ohm meter. The unit of resistance is ohm and unit of resistivity is ohm meter. If you are asked to write the differences between resistance and resistivity, so this will help you, right? So now what is resistivity? How will you define resistivity? So resistivity of a material of a conductor, again we are talking about the material of a conductor, is the resistance of the conducting wire of the same material whose length is 1 meter and area of cross section is 1 meter square. So resistivity is a resistance. You can see how it is related. So resistivity of a material is a resistance. Resistivity is a resistance. Got it? So it is very, very important to understand. So what is resistivity? It is the resistance of a conductor. Here I am showing this way arrow. So resistivity is the resistance of the conductor, right? Whose length means length of the conductor is 1 meter and area of cross section is 1 meter square. That dimensions, the resistance and resistivity are same. It is a property of material. It is a property of the material of which material the conductor is made of. It doesn't depend upon the length, shape and thickness. Length, shape and thickness means area of cross section, shape, it is coiled or circular or square shape. Okay, it doesn't depend upon that. It is dependent on nature of material. The resistivity of material changes with change in temperature of the conductor. We have done earlier. Resistivity of alloys by experiment, it has been found, is higher than resistivity of metals. Okay, again we shall be discussing in next topic here. So therefore alloys, where alloys are used and why alloys are used, we shall be discussing, right? Um, Everywhere we do not use alloys and everywhere we don't use metals. Just start thinking. I shall be discussing where metals are used and where alloys are used. Some of you must be thinking. Now, resistivity of material is the measure of resisting power. Resist means opposition, resisting power of material to flow of current. Alloys have high resistivity and therefore they are used to make heating elements, or in all heating devices, right? Alloys are used, right? So nichrome is used in heaters, right? And alloys, they do not oxidize. Means when they are used in open, in a simple heater which is used to cook food, element is open, and it reacts with it doesn't react with oxygen. Okay, so this means it doesn't oxidize. Alloys do not oxidize, right? So this is the biggest advantage. Because of high resistivity, when electric current is passed through them, they produce large amount of heat, and in open they do not react with oxygen, so therefore they are used. Tungsten, all of you know very well, has very high resistivity. Okay, therefore it is used in where? CFL? No, CFL, like tungsten is not used. Tungsten is used. Tungsten is used in electric bulbs because it has very high resistivity. A thin wire. It is in coiled shape. It is used. Why it is in coiled shape? When it is coiled shape, its length is very high. So silver, copper, aluminum, okay, its resistivity, tungsten resistivity is higher, and therefore it is used in electric bulbs. Now, alloys. This topic, if I ask you, some of you must have done in class, some of you must be remembering. All of you have done, but some of you must be remembering. You have done in 6th, 7th standard, right? Alloys. So here, when we talk about the alloys, so alloys are made up of two or more, yes, two or more metals when they are mixed together in a definite ratio, definite proportion, definite ratio. So resistivity is a property. Now again, I'm coming back after discussing this alloy word. So resistivity is a property of substance or material, right? Resistance is a property of an object. Object means its shape. Object means shape. Remember, its length, its size, its shape, right? While resistivity of which material, this is very, very important. You have to write down. I'm just giving you one question in your notebook. Write down in your notebook. Write 2 points of difference between resistivity and resistance. So one can be unit, second can be definition, second can be definition. So two differences you can write down in your notebook. Write 2 points of difference between resistivity and resistance. Very, very important question, can be asked in board exam. The resistance of object of different shapes and sizes, the resistance of object of different shapes and sizes but of same material are different. Same material are different. Here this is the example. This is very thick, less, and this is thin. All are made of copper. So what is same here? Resistivity is same, but you can see thickness is different though length is same. So therefore resistance is different. Any problem here? No. Right. So however, resistivity of object different shape and size but of same material is same. What are the factors affecting the resistivity of a wire of a conductor? Wire or conductor? Nature of material. We have done. Aluminium has its own resistivity. Copper has its own resistivity. Change in temperature of conductor. Resistivity is also affected with change in temperature. Change in temperature. Right? As resistance is affected, resistivity is also affected with change in temperature. So, right? Now, on the basis of resistivity, we divide the metals into different categories, right? So we have metals or conductors, we have alloys, we have insulators, right? Now, in next table, we are going. Now, after discussing alloys and their properties, now we are coming to the next topic. That is, here we are going to just see the resistivity of some substances that at 20 degrees Celsius. This is the ideal temperature at which resistivity has been calculated. So here you can see from this table, this silver, its resistivity unit is ohm meter. You have to just remember ohm meter. Resistance unit of resistance is ohm and resistivity ohm meter. It is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 8. This means it is the best conductor. It is very low resistivity. Therefore, electric current can pass through it very easily. But being is costly, we don't use use it here as in electric as electric wire in electric circuits. Copper is next. Its resistivity is a bit higher than silver, and it is 1.62 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter. You should speak completely ohm meter. So therefore, copper it is used as in electrical transmission wires, right? Then comes aluminum, then tungsten. Here it is 5.20. Nickel is costlier. Iron, then a very high resistivity. Therefore, it is not used, right? So these are some conductors. Now after that, alloys. Alloy is constant, and it is alloy of copper and nickel. Manganese alloy of copper, manganese and nickel. So you need not to learn all these values. You are given in numericals, right? Just you have to calculate then resistance or length of the wire or area of cross section. From this we come to know that these substances are divided into now conductors, alloys and insulators. Insulators have very high resistivity. Insulators are very high resistivity, and you know the uses of resistors in daily life, right? Next, once again, some revision you can say. Alloys have high resistivity than their constituent metals, of which they are made up of used to make heating elements, do not oxidize, right? Now, nichrome is the alloy of nickel, chromium, iron, and manganese, right? It is used to make electrical heating devices, right? Tungsten, again, one question can be asked here. Why this nichrome is not used in electric bulbs, or why tungsten wire cannot be used as heating device in electric heating devices? The tungsten, though it has high resistivity than silver, copper, aluminum, but what happens? It oxidizes. It oxidizes means when it is used in open, it reacts with oxygen and then it burns. Have you ever tried that if you make a small hole in electric bulb and just use it, okay, it will glow and then it will fuse, because tungsten, when it glows, it reacts with oxygen, then it melts. It melts, right? So it is where it oxidizes it, right? So therefore it is not used in open. Therefore it is always used in electric bulbs. It can't be used in can't be used openly. So used only in electric bulbs. Thin wire of tungsten metals are used to make filament of electric bulb. Why thin wire? Because we know that R is directly proportional to length, right? So thin wire has more resistance, and longer wire we use, right? R is directly proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to A. So thin wire will have more resistance. I said right in the beginning, I just said something else. So R is inversely proportional to R. R is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Area of cross section A, right? So thin wire, when wire is thin, area of cross section is less. So this means resistance will be more. So we'll use long wire. It is therefore in coiled shape, right? So now this is again given metals, alloys and insulator. Resistivity increases from metal to alloys, alloys to insulators. So insulators have highest resistivity. Till now I think whatever we have discussed you must have understood, and this whole topic is very important for board exam as well as for competitive exams, right? And next we shall be discussing some numericals and one or two activities also, right? Till then, thank you. Now at last everything will be fine in the end. If you don't feel fine, then it is not the end. Right? So we have to continue to work hard. We have to continuously we have to learn, right? So thank you very much. Now see you.